is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
What is up, San Genova? How are you, buddy?
What's going on, buddy?
Here we go. Post Expo, BoothMates, episode 3. Dude, who'd have thunk we got to episode 3 so quick? What do you think?
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun, but definitely got the Expo blues. You know, it's
the post Expo blues. I'm in it deep.
Yeah, I know. It was a fun Expo.
It was the best.
Everybody. Yeah, it was a really, really good show. Good turnout.
Good times.
A lot of our friends showed up. Yeah, so it was extra special. It seems to get better and better every Expo.
I know.
So.
It was so good. It was so much fun. I people have been asking me how it was. I'm like, best show ever. Like perhaps one of the best shows I've ever been to ever in terms of just the overall experience, which is the summation of all the mini experiences that go on throughout the day that you're there. You know, right from picking up Tim Hortons in the morning, right to going to bed at night after dinner and talking to people and going to whatever events we're going to. It was
Sure.
It was awesome. It was great. What's up, chat, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the show. We got Jay-Z joining us shortly. We've got Daniel, who you guys have seen in the chat for years now. He's going to be making his first appearance here on the show, as is Jay-Z. And Josh Adams, who joins us on Saturdays, he's supposed to be coming. He's not here yet. We'll see if he shows up, but hopefully he does. What is up, Laura? Good to see you. Thank you. Stooks, what's going on? Jacob Dahl, good to see you. Jeff McMahon, welcome. Orlando, hello, my friend. Welcome to the show. Dog Food Soup, got to see this guy in person for the first time after several years. You remember who that is? His name was Chris. I think I probably said to you, but you wouldn't have known him by Dog Food Soup back in the day, but you definitely met him. At the booth. Rob Starr, great to see you. He came by and hung out a few times. And saw Lapper at the Arizona's event and throughout the weekend. Good to see you, Lapper. Welcome to the show. So the first thing, Sam, before we bring on our buddies, is we had a new location. We've now had 3 different locations for our booth at the Expo. First time, we were right on Broadway there, right across from Classic Auction. Second time, which was last April, we were in the GP with Grant Patterson, a Total Sports booth, kind of tucked away in the back. And now we were back to our own booth, right in behind ComC, right at the entrance aisle. My favorite location so far. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought the location was great. It was nice to also be able to just at the end of the show put together a bunch of cards and just drop it off to ComC for a submission, to sell your cards. So the convenience was there, and it was nice to be in a row with the Quincy's and a couple of the vintage guys mixed with some of the modern mixed. It was a good spot, close to, not too far from the washrooms. Pizza was right there. It was a lot of people coming to, the ComC. So it definitely drove a lot of attention. And then the binders of yours were just going nuts all weekend. It was
crazy.
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, man, maybe we should just display some cards in binders.
I know the binders worked well.
I
know. So yeah, we were at the entrance. We had the bathrooms were there. The pizza was there. We had Mint Ink was just across the row from us. eBay, ComC, right across from us was Vic and Roddy. Beside them was Quincy and the crew that was hanging out over there. It was right next to us, Randy and his daughter Chelsea. We got to know them a little bit. That was great. But that row was awesome. I'm so glad that we got that spot and have that one going forward. So that was, it was great. What is up? YS Sports Car. That's Yitz, I believe. Chris says it was a good row. When I walked around, I'd say it was among the busiest, if not the busiest row consistently. Definitely had some ebbs and flows to traffic, though. I felt we were busy in that row, like just about from open to close the whole way through. And that was one thing that was interesting about this whole expo, was that it never died down. Usually Saturday at 2 o'clock, it slows down. Sunday at 2 o'clock, it almost dries right up. This show was, at least from where we were sitting, it was packed from open to close every single day, which was like, never seen that before. It was a whole new thing. It was unbelievable. Did you feel that way too?
Yeah, I was actually questioning, because before the expo, I had this little back incident. So I was like, you know what? If I'm not feeling well, Sundays usually are very slow. There's kind of a day just to hang out with it'll be unfortunate, but maybe I'll need a day of rest. But I was feeling great. I got there Sunday and I couldn't believe how busy it was. And it wasn't like people just like kicking tires. It was people who were buying. So I was like, wow, this is different. Usually Sundays just, you'll do a couple deals here and there. People try to get deals on the Sunday. They think you don't want to pack the cards with you and they try to get good deals. I get it. But no, it was actually very surprising. And it was really good.
The deals were going. I didn't do a final tally, but I know going into Sunday, I had done 93 deals for the 3 days. I think I did another 27 or something, or 28. So that took me to like 120 deals for the show. That's amongst my best. I mean, I had a couple of lighter expos going into this one, but this was heavy deal making. Dave Marone, who was set up kind of over by PSA, says best show to date. I talked to him yesterday, actually. He told me that he had a killer show. So that's great to hear. There's Eric Sanderson to Orr. Hell of a show. It was great to see. Yeah, great to see you too. Eric was Eric and Bobby were the two of the first people I saw when I walked in on Wednesday night before the show had even, I think that was, who knows, that might have been Thursday morning for all I can remember. Yet says I left 2 o'clock on Sunday and people were still coming in buying tickets at 2 o'clock on Sunday. Orlando says Blue Jays cards were probably very hot. I mean, I didn't have any, so I didn't hear any. I thought they would be. I didn't hear anything about Blue Jays cards. Did you?
I mean, we don't have baseball, so maybe that's why we didn't hear anything. But because people know we're just like mostly hockey. I mean, we do have some, but so I guess we didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything anyways, because I don't have any baseball. So maybe I'm thinking that's the reason why.
Orlando,
who had Jays cards, were definitely selling for sure.
For sure. I would think so, Orlando, but I can't. Neither of us know firsthand. And Chris says there were deals to be had, which I found surprising. I found a number of cards with stickers on them lower than comps, and then got deals on top of that.
There you go.
If people were there, they were willing to sell for sure. Zach Pierce was at the Dallas, felt crazy busy. Even Friday afternoon felt packed. So both shows looked like they were pretty good. Chris here says there was consistent inquiries about Blue Jays. Bichette, Barger, standout. Guerrero was plentiful, but I don't recall anyone inquiring about him. Yeah. All right. Let's bring out a couple of the guys that were at the booth hanging out with us for most of the weekend. Let's start with Jay-Z. Let's bring Jay-Z on the screen, everybody. Please welcome to Sports Cards Live for the first time, Mr. Jay-Z. What is up, buddy?
Good evening, gents. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
You're usually in the chat, and now here you are with us on the show. I mean, you and I have been hanging out at Expo for 15 years, I feel like. It's good to have you here on the show, buddy, and I want to thank you for being in the chat on a regular basis. So before we bring on Daniel and then Josh, let's get your overriding thoughts and kind of your review of the show, Jay-Z. What were your thoughts compared to maybe prior versions of the Expo?
I would definitely say I agree with most of what you guys were saying. The show had an energy to it, didn't it? And it seemed like every day, not only early in the day, which is pretty common for Expo, but that midday lull never showed up, and that end of show lull just wasn't there. There was deals to be had, and people. Wow, so many people for sure. Yeah. The other thing that I noticed too was that it was a lot of collectors, which was great to see. Like, I'm sure there was a segment of like the flip community that was there, But for the most part, I felt like all of my interactions were with real collectors. And that was heartwarming because, you know, the hobby's in a good place.
Yeah, I mean, I did a story post, I think on Saturday, or yeah, probably on Saturday. I just said, you know, of all the deals I did, I think there were like, of the 93 deals I had done to that point, I think they were all to people who were buying cards for their PC. Maybe one or two people were buying a few for their trader box or to move elsewhere. But it was all about collectors and collecting. And I don't know if that says something about the Canadian segment of the hobby, the hockey segment of the hobby, or what, but I just feel like a lot of the narrative that I hear about on YouTube and Instagram is very narrow-sighted. It's blinders on when you think about the hobby is so much bigger than what we see and hear about in social media. I'm glad you mentioned that, Jay-Z, because yeah, this was a collector show and they were out spending money. Did you spend some money, Jay-Z?
I did indeed, and not only did I spend money on like really nice upmarket collectibles, I also went through your binders, which were such a hit, and I picked up a fantastic lot of, you know, shall we say, entry level Luongo cards, which fits perfect in my collection, and it's the first time I've done that in a long time, so that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't alone. I mean, Sam can say for sure too that like there were dozens of people that spent a while going through those binders and I'd be standing there kind of watching them, and as a joke I'd start cheering, "Build a stack, build a stack." And people were like, you know, they would come up a little bit apprehensive, and they'd say, "How much are these?" They go, "I couldn't price them. There's too many, but ask me about a couple, you'll get a feel." They'd say, "Well, how much for this one?" I go, "I don't know, $5." They go, "How much for that one?" I go, $10. They say, "Oh, okay." So they pull them out. Next thing you know, they got a stack this big. Some people had a stack that big. And then we just went through and I was pricing the cards out with them and nobody walked away. Everyone was just like, yeah. And then people came back the next day for round 2. So it was a lot of collectors. All right, Jay-Z, welcome to the show. Let's bring on Daniel, guys. Now, Daniel, you've all seen him in the chat for 5 years now because I've known him from Dan. I'm bringing you on. Here he comes right now. Daniel Alu. What's up, buddy?
Not much. Thanks for having me, guys.
You bet. You bet. Well, listen, you go ahead. Say hi. Say hi to everybody.
Jay-Z, Sam, how you guys doing, man?
Daniel?
Good. You?
Good. Thanks. Nice
It was
see you.
awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome, Daniel, that we were like the 4 of us were hanging out at the booth most of the show. I think Jay-Z, if you might have not been there on Sunday, it's hard to remember everything, but we were, you know, this show's called BoothMates here on Sports Cards Live, and we were all hanging out. You know, Sam and I were set up, but Daniel, you were there hanging out. Jay-Z, you hung out there quite a bit. Josh was there Friday. Well, when he got in a bit late, he was there at our booth Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But what a great show. Before we bring Josh on, Daniel, give us your thoughts on the show overall. What did you think compared to other shows? I mean, listen, I know you from Expo, and then I started doing Sports Cards Live, and you know, you've been watching that for a long time. You and I have been Expo card buddies for years. I don't know, 10, 15 years sort of thing. So
yeah, probably about 15 years for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we've had this Sunday night dinner at the Keg after to wrap up the weekend. But how was the show for you? What were your general thoughts on it?
Busy, definitely busier than other shows, especially I typically don't go on Saturdays because Sam and I talk about this all the time. I don't do well with big crowds, so Thursdays are my favorite night. I find that's typically when I do most of my shopping on Thursday. Friday was nice, busy again, more than usual. At least that was my perspective. And Sunday felt like Saturday, like it was jam packed. But as Jay-Z said, the energy was amazing. A lot of kids. The hobby looks really healthy, guys. A lot of collectors, a lot of money flowing that night during that whole weekend. It was so good to see. It makes me happy to see that, to be quite honest with you.
And you're not somebody who's on Instagram. You come on YouTube and watch videos and that, but you know, not being on Instagram, you might have a bit of a different perspective on the hobby compared to others. Like, you know, we're talking about how if you spend a lot of time on Instagram, you might just feel like the hobby is all about big cards and flipping and investing, and there's no real collectors because Instagram, it's not the collectors who really take the spotlight over there for whatever reason. You mentioned a lot of collectors, a lot of money being spent, but are you generally bullish on the hobby from a good collector foundation standpoint right now?
I'm kind of living in a bubble, I guess, when you put it that way, as far as Instagram and social media goes. But I surround myself with good people in the hobby, and I'm meeting people every single time. New people like Jay-Z, him and I met for the first time this show. And I find the more, as the shows go on, I spend more time socializing and being with new friends than looking at cards. And I find I can find cards anywhere, not just at the show. And I enjoy the camaraderie and the friendship that I made over the years at these shows. And to me, I put that just as high as looking at the cards. I love seeing you guys every 6 months.
I mean, Sam and I were saying we're having the post Expo blues. It's like I literally miss waking up at my hotel room, jumping in the shower, stopping at Tim Hortons and going to the show and waiting for you guys to show up and hanging out. You put your bags down, and even if I'm working a deal at the booth, I know that you guys are there. We're going to hang out. We're going to chit chat. We're going to talk about each other's pickups and just hanging out. It's so much fun. I mean, Sam, you too, right? I mean, you're sitting there, you're doing deals with people, talking, and we got these guys coming. You'd leave the booth, you'd come back, we'd have new friends hanging out. Like, what was that like for you?
Yeah, it's these guys here. They're my fellows. We call them paisanos from the Italian background. So we kind of have a laugh with some kind of internal jokes that we shoot around. It's great. Listen, Daniel said it the best. It's not only about the cards, it's about the people. And that's what really makes it special, because if you're hanging around with a bunch of people that you don't enjoy, it's not that fun. Let's be honest. So our booth, and I may I feel like every time I see someone, I'm like, yeah, come around, come sit down. Like, I feel like I want to have that moment with them where I can have a chat, where I don't have to be standing across my showcase. And it just feels like, it's a little place where you can come and relax, and if you have to drop your bag, have a bite, we're welcome. We want you to hang around and have fun, because it is a long show, and I know when I didn't have a booth and I walked around, it was really tiring and exhausting. So to have that spot to come and hang out, I think is a big part for me. Anyways, I really enjoy to hang out with the collectors and get to know everybody. And me and Dan, now we're texting every day and trying to get together because he's local to me. So, and for me, he's going to be a friend that I'm going to have for a long time, I feel. Yeah. So that's kind of nice, because as you get older, it's kind of harder to meet. You have your group of friends and you're kind of just, so this is, we talked about it before, the hobby gives you the ability to be able to grow your friendship, let's say.
It's a social event, right? Like, yeah, we're there for cards, buy, sell, trade, but it's just so good to hang out with the fellas and again, welcome them into the booth. Like, come sit down, hang out, leave your bag if you want, that sort of thing. I want to run through some comments. Then we're going to bring Josh on. He's joined us. He was the fifth man in the booth, or the fourth or the third, which just depends what day it was. Dave Marone says he loved your Lemieux box bottom. That was Jay-Z, right? No. Yeah. No? Daniel.
It was this gentleman right here.
Which way are you pointing?
And he sold it to me.
Oh, so it was yours.
This gentleman.
Where you?
It was Dan's.
You're pointing into the nowhere. You got to go the other way. Anyway.
Well, the way I am, my screen's showing this way.
Oh, I said okay.
Dan's over here.
Okay, interesting. That's not
so
how I see
anyways, Dan was the one who bought the card and showed me the card, and I was like, wow, that's so sick. And then he's like, I think you like this card more than me. I'm like, no, I don't want to. Don't sell it to me. I don't want to take it off your hands. And he's like, no, I'm honestly thinking about it. Like, you're always talking about it. You love this card. I'm like, I do. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't want you to sell it to me. He's like, no, you can buy it. Yeah, that just goes to show the type of guy that Dan is. He's a beauty.
He's a beauty. Chris Flay says it was a great show, but parking was terrible. Need more seating to take a break. Yeah, when you're a vendor, the seating isn't an issue. But if you're not, like you said, Sam, if you're not a vendor, yeah, I couldn't tell you where to go sit down. So sorry you went through that, Chris, but glad you had a good time. Found treasures. What's up? Rob Star is agreeing. Not enough rest areas with the show layout. The old layout had the larger lounge. Good evening to Lantern. What's up, Turner? Rich Barone was set up right across from us with investment cards with Vic and Roddy and Frank. And Steve was there for
The mayor
one
of
day.
Canada.
The mayor of Canada. He's always
He's wearing his jersey, loud and proud.
Loud and proud.
Great Islanders collection.
Absolutely. Here, let's bring Josh on while we're going through comments really quick because he's sitting in the back. I don't want to leave him back there anymore. Oh, look at how small this is now. Look at that.
I know. You got to fit everybody in there. What's up, guys? Sam,
What's up, buddy?
Dan, Jay-Z, good to see you guys again. That was a blast meeting you guys. I saw Jay-Z at the last expo, but at Daniel we met, I think, at the last expo too. Yeah, I had a blast. This is my fourth one. I wish I would have started going earlier, but it's my second favorite show after the National, by far.
It was great.
Yeah,
it was great, awesome. And we had the five of us at the booth quite a bit, and we had Mitch was there too. Mitch was hanging out at the booth with us for a while, but he's on his way to his honeymoon right now, so he can't be joining us tonight on the show, unfortunately. But he is on the thumbnail, believe it or not. Yeah. He's on the thumbnail. I just put Josh's head on top of Mitch because we didn't get somehow we didn't get a pic, Josh. I don't know how that ended up happening, but I'm gonna run through. I'm gonna catch up on comments and we'll get back to the panel here. Chris said that your binders seem very popular. Every time I went by, there were people thumbing through them. It was amazing. People loved the binders. Easy. Eric says, I watched some crazy lady thumbing through the binders looking for Jason Allison cards. Amanda spent a good 45 minutes and she got a stack from the binders. Good evening to the professor. BWS, Miss J Lee, it's been a week for me. Good to be back. I don't know who everybody is now that they've changed what your names look like, but good to see you. I'm sure Rob says they should consider extending it to a 5-day event. It just goes by too fast. I propose they go to a 365-day event. How about that? How about that? What do you guys, let's pause on this one for a second. What do you guys think? A 5-day event? Like what would they, because National, Josh, I mean, National's a 5-day event. Could the Expo be 5 days?
I think easily they can make it 5 days. That's definitely. If the National is this, because this is just as big as the National. It's like the Hockey National. It's great.
It was as busy and packed like per square foot as the National is. I feel like it was just busy in there, but not bad busy, good busy. It was, I'd be down for you guys. What do you guys think? I mean, Jay-Z, you don't come to every single expo. You come every second or third time. Sam and Daniel, I mean, you guys are local, so you're there. So would 5 days make a difference to you? What do you think, Daniel, for you?
It's funny you bring this topic up. Sam and I were talking about this at the show, and I was thinking, why not every 4 months? I just feel like 6 months is a long time to wait. I mean, I guess because we love it so much, but for me, 6 months just feels like forever.
I know it is too late. Well, if you look at the email that the Expo sent out today, they've changed a few things here. I'm just going to do this really quick, guys, so people can see what the Expo has planned. So here, I'm just going to share my screen. It should push us all off to the side there, but look at this thing in the middle here. There's like a mystery pack expo right here to kick things off. It's going to be, it looks like it's before the Edmonton Expo, which is April 3rd to 5th. I don't know what this is. We got Toronto, April 30th to May 2nd, Montreal. Then there's another mystery pack expo. And look at that, Calgary. Expo is coming to Calgary. That's where I am. I welcome you all to Calgary for an expo. Dates are to be announced, but it looks like it's going to be somewhere between May and the Montreal show in October. So maybe it's going to be in September. I can't imagine it would be in the summertime. So I'm guessing that the Calgary show will be in September. I'm sure we'll find out soon. But that's going to be awesome. And then Montreal and Toronto. But we don't see the Quebec show here. So I don't know what happened to that. But anyway, just wanted to show people that it's that. I'm going to put it back up for one quick sec, actually. It's this one over here. What is this? What is that before April?
That used to be the Quebec show.
Early here, but now it doesn't seem like it is.
And it seems like they moved dates. It seems like Montreal used to be where Edmonton is, and Edmonton was after Toronto.
Yeah, those have bounced around with availability and stuff. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But yeah, I mean, if
But
even
the
twice
more
a
the
year,
merrier.
more the merrier. The more the merrier. Absolutely. I am with you. Rich Barone, the ride's home, 14 and a half hours. That's a long time. Eric, good seeing you. Josh, Chris says the dealer selling his personal Gretzky collection was incredible. I didn't see that, dealer. Darn it, missed out on that one. Simon, what is happening? I asked Sam the same question. How's your back, Sam?
It's getting better. It's getting better. We're much better than where we were a week ago this time. So it's all good. Thanks for asking, by the way.
Yeah, and Simon, good to see you. He rode with me. I forget where we were going. Simon, was that to the event that I co-hosted with Grant at Arizona's? I think it was. Yeah, I think you drove with me there. Good to see you, obviously. Rich says Wednesday to Sunday, 5 days. Yes, he says we'll be staying at my house. Dave Marone says Quebec is out. So there, but he says I hear another Toronto show is possible. So no showing. Wow. So Expo maybe seems
like listening, Daniel.
Right? Seems like the Expo brand is pulled out of Quebec if Dave is right, and maybe they're now doing a third show in Toronto. Will that be a full-blown Expo? I don't know. Which one is it? When will it be? I don't know. But very, very excited for that. So yeah, I want to thank everybody who did come to the networking, the social event at Arizona's, which was co-hosted by myself and Grant Patterson from GP Sports and his team and his dad Troy. Tons of giveaways. We had a great turnout. It was a fun night. Sam, you were there. I don't think Josh, you weren't around in time. JC, did you come? I can't. You were there. Yeah, you were there. Of course. Yep. Now you were there. Daniel, were you there? No. It was a great event. So thanks everybody who did come out to that. Any of you guys have any stories you want to share about anything that happened? Any notable events? Any notable deals? Any major pickups you're really excited about that you want to share with anybody? We can kind of go around the horn. If there's nothing, that's fine too. But why don't we start with you, Sam? Any cards you picked up? Anything happen at the show that you wanted to talk about, or anything at all? Can you hear me, Sam?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry, I was getting major lag. I was missing. Sorry. Why did I have a funny face? My face looked funny when it was frozen.
No, I was just saying. Was there anything? Do I have to go through that whole thing again?
Sorry, dude.
Anything that happened at the show? Any pickups? Anything notable go on at the show for you that you want to discuss or talk about, or just a pickup that you're really excited about that you want to share with everybody?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit of stuff that happened. I don't know if you want to get into that. Which part do you want to get into? The question.
Well, whatever's going to be more interesting to the viewers.
Well, I mean, I think that, it was a very good show, but, there was some things that happened at the booth that was unfortunate. I did sell a card to somebody that was clearly labeled what it was. And then they came back and for whatever reason, they wanted their money back. And I had spent the money, reinvested it into grail pieces. So that was very unfortunate, and I don't like confrontation. So that was an issue that kind of ruined my weekend, but thanks to everybody who hung out at the booth, made things a lot better for me. But unfortunately is a situation that happened that I never had before. And I really didn't know how to deal with it. I was caught off guard. You kind of know what happened, Jer. So it's just like, it wasn't pleasant. I don't think I did anything wrong. It was straightforward, but I guess these things do happen time to time. So yeah, other than that, I picked up a lot of nice cards. I'm really happy with my pickups.
Let's just dive into the event, this issue that took place, because it was tough, and I could see that it was really, wearing on you, and I'm sure Jay-Z, Daniel, Josh, you guys all kind of were aware of the situation and could see that it was something that was kind of like overlaying the experience. You know, it was your issue, you were dealing with it, and I just wanted to stay out of it, you know, even though we talked about it, you and I. But really, it does raise an interesting question, and I'm curious what the chat thinks on this. So my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sam, because I think that you almost need a bit of closure on this and to hear what other people think. Like, did you handle it properly? And by properly, I mean, were you too nice about it? Is really what I'm asking. And I'm not saying you were or weren't. I'm just curious. And we're not going to talk about who this person was or anything. This is more a lesson learning opportunity, I think. But basically what happened, Sam sells a card. The card was labeled what it was, both on the card itself and on the PSA slab. It said what it was. The hobbyist left the booth, came back. I don't know if it was the next day or a few hours later, and basically said, you know, I didn't realize that it was this specific variation of the card. I want to return it. And this was like a mid four-figure card. This was in the many thousand. This wasn't $100 or $500. This was somewhere between like $3,000 and $7,000. This was a several $1,000 card. And like Sam said, he went and spent that money. And then the guy comes back and wants his money back. And what do you do in that situation? Like, what do you do in that situation? Do you just like, is it a return sort of situation? Or well, Eric says all sales are final. So I agree, all sales are final, but then there's the human aspect and the community aspect, which is, do you just undo the deal and look at it as being like just being very generous? And I didn't want to say human about it, because you could have been human and said, no, it's your card now. You're going to have to, you know, deal with it. But, you know, and he did offer you you know, we're talking like what, just to throw out a number, say it's a $5,000 card. He offered you like $100 restocking fee. Like, okay, we'll keep $100. And we're kind of like I just spent, call it $5,000. And now what's $100 going to do for me? You know? So
Totally.
It was an awkward situation. And, but you did end up undoing the deal. You did undo the deal. He came up, he left you a bit more than $100. But how do you feel, Sam? Do you kind of feel like you wish you didn't undo the deal and just, you know, didn't have to? Because now you literally, I was saying to you, well, now you got to take him to the guys you bought cards from and ask them to refund your card so you can pay him back. Yeah. Like it wasn't your problem anymore. But you did a very nice thing. You did a very nice thing, Sam. And you agreed to undo the deal, gave him back over 90% of his money, got the card back. And I don't know if I would have done it for what you did, but it just depends. It just depends on what you want to do. So with me talking about it now, let's go back to you, Sam. I want to get these other guys' thoughts and we'll go to the chat. But back to you, Sam.
Yeah. So I just, you know, it was something that, like, so what happened was he bought it and he came back within like the hour, and I told him what was happening, and I actually had the card plus other cards in my hand of what I bought. And I was like I spent the money. So the fact that I didn't have it, plus I spent more, just put a burner on my like whole experience, because now, like, you know, talking to a lot of collectors, my original thought was, just because like I don't want to, like, I don't like confrontation, and I don't want to like have any bad karma or people like talk negative about me, where like, you know, it was like, okay, you know, I don't want to deal with this. I just want to give him his money back. But people were telling me, like, you know, you shouldn't do that. Like, if you go to Walmart, like, you know, you buy something, this is not Walmart, you know, like, this is, you paid cash, like, you know, there's no receipts, you know, it's clearly labeled. Like, how does this happen? Like, you know, so at the end of the day, like, I took the high road, as they say, and I'm happy with the decision, because I never have to look behind my back at anybody talking, you know, as they say, shit. Part of my French, but, you know, so for me, I'm actually happy because I got back a card that I was always happy to have anyways. And for me, my dad always taught me the roots that, you know what, you always got to try to be the better person. I think at the end of the day, that's the decision I took.
Yeah, it is the decision you made, and I'm glad you feel good about it. Josh, what do you think about the situation? You're a card show veteran. What do you think about the whole situation?
I think there's a general understanding when you go to a show and you buy a card's yours. That's it. Done. Sales complete. You don't get it, give it back. And I would say, Sam's worried about his reputation. People who know Sam aren't going to hear this story and automatically think Sam's a bad guy. They know him and his reputation is pretty good for a very long time. And I think one story about some guy doing this, and I have, I'm pretty skeptical. I have my theories as to why he wanted to return it. No one's going to think bad about you for this. I just think that if anything, it looks bad on the other guy saying, I want to get my money back. Like, come on. That's not how any of this works.
Yeah.
Jay-Z, Daniel, any thoughts? You don't have to say anything about this because it really wasn't your business. But if you just have any thoughts, please feel free to chime in. Whoever wants to go first, if at all. But if you don't have anything to say, then that's fine too. But let me know either way, please. Jay-Z?
I think it was overall. I think it was like a classless move by the guy who tried to reverse the deal. And as we all know, Sam's a gentleman, and a very classy move that he did to unwind it with really no headache. So I think you just leave it at that.
Daniel, any thoughts?
Yeah, Sam's just a salt of the earth kind of guy, man, and I was there and I kind of saw what was going on. It was uncomfortable, and I think Sam, in my opinion, he didn't have to do what he did. Sam's a good guy, but I just think he took the high road, like you said before, and he just he just wanted the guy out of there. And I know from from experience, I think we've all bought a card in the past that within probably 24 hours we regretted it. But not once did the thought crossed my mind to return the card to the guy who I bought it from.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate those comments. You know what I'm thinking right now is like Sam. I mean, obviously Sam did nothing wrong here. That goes without saying. Here we are talking about, no one's going to say anything bad about Sam. Well, but what about this other guy? Because I mean, I know who it is, and I've known this guy for a while, and now if I sell him a card, I'm gonna have to say, well, are you gonna bring it back in an hour? Like, who's gonna want to, like, and this 5 of us know who that is. Are the 5 of us gonna want to deal with this guy in the future? Like, he might have been better off to just swallow it and not leave the mark on his reputation that's how he's doing business.
Yeah.
Because now he knows, he might be watching right now. If you are, listen up. All 5 of us know what happened among some other people as well. That's not a good look for you. It's not a good look for you to try and return the card, especially after knowing that the money you spent had been respent already. Like Sam went on a buying spree after. Well, not like a buying spree. He had targets and he went and secured those targets.
Yeah.
With that money.
Yeah.
So,
like he even saw me with the cards in my hand, like when he approached me, and I was just like so caught off guard. I was like, what's happening?
Well, and not only were you caught off guard financially, but this actually had an emotional impact on your weekend experience, which in turn had an impact on my weekend experience because we are spending the whole time together at the show. So now I'm like this guy who's, he's a player. He's got cards, got very good cards. I don't care. Like, am I going to want to sell you a card now? If I ever had one you'd want, even knowing that's, like you couldn't just move on. You couldn't just move on, huh? Like I don't know.
It was crazy.
It was okay. Well, Richie Rocket, good to see you at the show as well. As Richie Barone says, no returns. Rob Star, very generous giveaways at the get together. That was at Arizona's. Yes, there were tons of giveaways, but lots of comments here. Eric says all sales are final. Dog Food Soup says there's no argument if it's both labeled and slabbed, saying what it was, which it was. I wonder if he just showed it to somebody and said, "Oh, did you?" And I'm not gonna say what the card was because we don't want to. We're not gonna dox anybody on this. But I wonder if someone said, oh, that's not as good as you think it is or something. And so he had second thoughts. Like, too bad. It's like you buy a slabbed card and you get it and you know, like it's graded, but you notice something wrong with it. Well, that's what grading's for. HB says, nice guys finished last. LGC, Sam took the high road. Very honorable. Eric says he had buyer's remorse. Not your problem. Chris Flay, Sam, good on you. But it was totally the other guy's fault. Yeah, absolutely. Lantern here says, I had a guy buy a card, return it only to find out later he was trying to flip it around the room and was unsuccessful. That was a theory. That was a theory that was discussed amongst ourselves, right? So Stuke says, better than a guy that came back a year later. Oh my gosh, that's a non-starter for sure. Yeah, man says card values are ever changing. Imagine trying to return a stock, right? Yeah. So Simon, my theory would be that he tried to flip it at other tables and nobody would bite, so he went back to Sam. I don't know if that's what happened. That's a plausible theory. I don't think it's the situation myself. I think he maybe showed it to somebody who said, "Oh, did you know?" And he was like, "Ah, okay." Eric bought a Jerry Cheevers card from me 4 years ago. I don't like it. He wants his money back. Yes, Eric, 4 years. I'll send you PayPal for sure. LGC says, name some names. No, we're not doing that. Not in this situation. We'll name names, but not in this situation. Stuke says, hope it wasn't P. Ryan. He wasn't at the show. Lantern is dying to know what's okay. Sam, you still have the cards you purchased. Let's turn this around. Turner wants to know what you bought. What did you buy? But HB says, I'm with Josh. All sales are final. Dog food soup. If you're spending that much money or any money, to be honest, you should know what you're buying. And okay. Sam, why don't you show us the cards you picked up? Let's a little show and tell here, guys.
So this is the card that I went after. It's McDavid limited logo to 10. I'm trying to get all the copies from every year. So that was one of the cards I went after right after the purchase. The sell of the card.
Ooh,
and then it's Crosby.
Oof. Look at that. So chunky, dude. That card, when you brought that back to the table, my mind was blown. Look at that patch. Emblems of endorsement, numbered out of 15, on card auto, game used memorabilia. What year is that from?
23-24. So last year's product. But
what a gorgeous card.
This card, it's hard to see it in like a picture or a video, but when you see it in person, it's so chunky. Like it's incredible. And then
unbelievable.
And then I found another one for the PC, which is a dual signature patch of another guy, Collect Forsberg and Sakic.
Great patches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one came from our good buddy Justin Kramer from New York, who comes up to the show all the time. He's a great guy. And when Sam got that card, when that card came, I was like, Sam was kind of negotiating on it, and I'm like, oh, I go, I'll pay 100 more than the ask. Like, I like that card that much. I backed off, of course, but what a great card! What a beauty, buddy! Congrats on all three of those.
I just want to show one more card.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my favorite pickups, and that's from Daniel. Check out this box bottom. Isn't this beautiful?
That's a Lemieux 85 OPG. That's like a rookie card. It's not pack pulled. It's box cut, but it's still
not a card.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Okay, Mitch. But very sexy card.
Amazing card, dude. Amazing. Let's see some other pickups. Jay-Z, what about you? What did you pick up at the show?
3 cards to be. Day one pickup was this guy right here. It's a 57 Hank Aaron, and I know it's tough to see, but it is dead nuts centered.
What a card.
Yeah.
You got that from Colin, I believe. Is that right?
I did.
Hockey Card Exchange, who's often in the chat on Saturday nights, always has great cards. He's opening up a store in Brantford, where Gretzky's from. He had a set break. He had the whole set graded, not for sale, along with a couple other baseball sets. What a great card, dude. Congrats. I love the 57 tops.
Yeah, that one was a Thursday night, I think, pickup. And then I don't think I showed you guys this one, but I picked up this Stunner Rizzuto as well. It's a SGC holder. And again, real nice centering. And the red bar is really, really nice. There is a teeny tiny little bit of white right there, but just really clean copy.
Very cool.
That's beautiful. Now, listen, people are probably thinking, hey, these are 5 guys in Canada collecting hockey cards, and you're whipping out some baseball. Let people know. And guys, again, Jay-Z, if you've been watching Sports Cards Live at all in the last 5 years, you've seen him in the chat, throughout. Tell us a bit about what you do collect, Jay-Z, so everyone in the chat can hear too.
For the most part, as I started back in the hobby in I think I jumped back in 05, 06. And I basically bought everything that was new. So I was breaking boxes and collecting just new stuff. And when Roberto Luongo got traded to the Canucks, I started PCing him. So I have a really big Luongo collection. You can see in the background there's some game-used equipment of his. And then for whatever reason, I can't tell you the shift, but I all of a sudden just stopped collecting anything new and went right to 50s.
Yeah.
So I have a 57, 58, and 59 Parker set complete. They're all on the registry. And out of the 150 slabs from those 3 years, the worst card I have is an 8.
Wow.
The 59 set has been as high as number 2 in the world. It's now number 3 because somebody jumped me, so good on them. Back on the chase. And then because I'm a Yankees fan, I started looking at old baseball, and now I've fallen in love. So 50s baseball right now I got a little bored with Parkhurst. Don't really know why, just got bored with it. And I started with baseball, and I'm doing baseball right now. I also have a pretty large Aaron Judge collection as well. So I got one card left to show you, and then you can pass it off to somebody else. This is my my very first, and I probably won't be my last, Babe Ruth.
Oof.
This was a Saturday pickup at Expo. Obviously, it's got a pinstripe in it, which led me to really want the card. And not many copies of this card have moved throughout the years, so I was really happy to grab that and put it in the collection. And after I bought that, I started looking at Ruth. So he's on my list. I'm thinking a 33 might be where I'll start because it's a reasonably priced. Yeah.
So, he's got 4 cards in the 33 Gaudi set. Do you have your eye on any one specific of those 4?
Yeah, I'll show you the one I'm after for sure. Quick find here.
Dog Food Soup says that Crosby is gross. Dan's vintage. I once let a kid return a $10 card, but this is definitely a no way. No do-overs. Dan, thanks again for giving me my $10 back, says Eric. You're not a kid despite your immaturity. I might have to borrow Chunky. Casey, yes. Rob Starr says beautiful. Aaron Rizzuto looks awesome in that holder. Jacob Dahl says, Jay-Z, are you Luongo collector on Hobby Insider?
No, I believe that was Stefan. I think I'm
Stefan.
Canucks. I think I'm Canucks fan 77.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the Ruth, Jared, number 93 in the set.
The red back. That's the one you want. Why that one versus the yellow background with the same image?
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I just think the red's stunning, especially when it's like a beautiful red that doesn't have any fish eyes in it. Which, I'm like you. Registration is really important to me.
Yes. Well, I'll just give a teaser. I picked up, I think, 24 cards for my PC at Expo. 23 were modern hockey. 1 was vintage hockey. I only picked up 1 vintage card, but I'll show it. I'll show it a bit later. Before we move on to Daniel, Josh, I want to get your feedback for Jay-Z on his selection of the red background Babe Ruth as far as representing the Bambino from 33 Gaudi in his collection. What do you think of that choice?
Cool card. If you wanted a red Ruth, though, I would go with a 32 caramel Ruth. They're about 10 times harder than Gaudy, and they're, I think, cooler looking cards. But out of the 33 Gaudis, I think the red and the green are my favorite. The red's
red
cool
and
as hell.
green.
Yep.
The two I have the other two. I don't have either of those. I have the yellow and the standing pose, which are my two favorites, but the green and the reds have both grown on me, especially the green.
Yeah, green's nice.
They're all wonderful. Well, great stuff, Jay-Z. Congrats on the pickups. Daniel, what about you? Did you manage to find anything at the show?
A couple of small cards, to be quite honest with you. A lot of, you brought up the heavy hitters, and you bring out the little bunt over here. But I picked up, there's a Gretzky. I'm actually, for me, the show's not over. I'm still in negotiations with some guys outside of the show on some Gretzky rookie cards. So I kind of pivoted a little bit at the show here. I didn't want to go overboard. So I just kind of focused in on some old Oiler rookie cards from the 80s. Like that's
nice.
Kind of where I kind of just set my sights right now, I guess, for the time being. So I brought a couple of them, like I said, nothing crazy, but this is one of the ones I picked up.
Oh, Yari Curry.
Yeah. So this one here is probably a glare. So this one here looked like a 10, right? And
tilt the top towards the camera. Sometimes that helps. Yeah, there you go. That helps.
Move it back a little.
Okay.
There you go.
So this one's like dead center, perfect corners. It looked like a 10 to me, so it was just worth it. I didn't care. I didn't even bargain with the guy. Like, whatever you want, just take it.
Huh.
And
well,
same
let me
thing
just
with the Anderson. This was another. Sorry.
I was just wanted to say about the Curry, because you said it looked like a 10 to you. It's a PSA 9, but it's a recently graded PSA 9.
Yeah.
That would have been a 10 a few years ago.
100%.
Most likely.
100%.
You got this. You got a PSA 10. Yes, it's in a 9 holder, but you paid 9 money. So congrats. Yeah. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I learned a lot watching your show, right? It's about buy the card, not the grade, right?
Well, the one vintage card I picked up, I'm holding, is a PSA 1.5, and I love it, and I'll explain why when we get around to some to show mine. But is that so? You picked up the Curry, and then were you just going to show a Glenn Anderson?
Yeah, I picked up an Anderson as well, and this card is so hard to find. The Glenn Anderson, and another same thing. It looks like a 10. This thing is like dead centered, sharp corners. I just jumped on it. Next one I want to get, and then I'm done with the Oilers, is a Paul Coffey, because I got the Gretzky 9, right? So I'm just trying to get some other Gretzkys. I can never have enough Gretzky rookie cards.
Yeah, well, I mean that. The Coffee's also from the 81, 82 O-Pee-Chee. You get them all in PSA 9s that, on any other day could have been a PSA 10. Let them sell you. Let them go find that strong 9 versus a weak 10. I mean, it's just such better value, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So you said you're still working on some deals for more Gretzky rookies or other?
Yeah, look, there's a Gretzky 8. There's a couple of guys, two different guys. One guy's local, and another guy, he's like, I think he's in Barrie or something, which is probably about an hour away from where I am. Trying to work something out with these guys here, because I found Gretzky rookies are pretty overpriced at the show. And I find sometimes when, one thing I know is you're telling people what it's not worth, right? When they're not buying a card. So you could put a sticker on the card, and if no one's buying it, you just told everybody that the card is not worth that.
Yeah.
So I find I can make some good deals outside the show, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, for sure. And there's no shortage of Gretzky rookies. You can wait for the right time, the right deal, the right card. I had a BVG 3 that I actually picked up at the Edmonton show and moved it at this show here. So someone found a really nice BVG 3 at my table. Josh Adams, what about you? Pickups wise, I mean, you seemed like you were just there to have a good time and hang out with people. Did you manage to find any cards?
I snagged a bunch of consignments for the next auction, so that was really what I was there for, and to see you, obviously.
And to buy Coffee Crisp chocolate bars.
So I have it right here. This was my only real pickup of the show. I have 4 of them. They're fantastic. I wish I could order these online. I might have to check, but this was my favorite pickup. But I did find Josh Thorne, Hit 'em High Sports Cards, gave me a complete 0304 Bowman Chrome X-Fractor to 150 set with about 10 graded cards. So it's really nice. And 2 Jordan refractors, PSA 9. So not a bad start. And I got some other stuff coming in, but it was definitely worth it. Not just for the coffee, Chris, but to see you guys and to pick up some pretty nice consignments.
Just hanging out. Now, I want to give you a tip. If you want to reverse engineer that coffee crisp,
Yes.
the middle layer is the goodness of that bar. That is something that you can't get anywhere else. That you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Well,
Josh, just send me your address. I'll send you a box of coffee crisps, and then you can fill the box with some cards and send it back to me.
Done. Deal. You got it.
Done. So let me share my vintage pickup. It's the one and only. I saw it when I walked into the show on Friday morning, and I didn't buy it. I didn't have like my loop on me, so I couldn't take a close look at it. I walked away, and I remember I had people going through my binders, and I said to 2 people, I said, you'll be here in 5 minutes. Or I got to go buy a card before someone else does, because I can't get it out of my mind. I don't want to miss it. I got to go. So I left my booth while I had people there in the middle of doing some deals. I mean, we weren't negotiating. They were still kind of building their stacks. I went and bought the card and came back. And here's what it is. It's 1953 Parkhurst Maurice Richard in a PSA 1.5 holder, recently graded. It's not in, obviously it's a 1.5, but what I love about it is the centering. It's not perfectly centered, but it is extremely well centered for the issue, and the registration, and the image of Maurice himself, it's basically perfect. The problems, as you can see, there is a crease that comes from here. I know you can kind of see it at certain times, but it comes from here and it goes to right about there, and then it stops, and then it picks up again over here and kind of goes to the edge. There's also just a little like niche out of the edge there, which you can't even really see right now, but back is super clean. PSA 1.5. So my rationale on a card like this is I got this card for $300 when I could have bought a PSA 7 that has perfect corners, no creases, perfect edges, or close, whatever, perfect closer to, but could be totally out of focus and could even be way off centered. It could be totally out of focus, way off centered. You can't even make, and this is a tough card to find in great registration. But it wouldn't have these creases here, which don't even bother me. I used to hate creases, but this doesn't even bother me at all. And I love that it's 1.5. Like, to me, I get so much joy from these low grade, high eye appeal cards. So this is right up my alley. It fits nicely in my low grade, high eye appeal collection. I wanted a copy of this card. Sure, I wanted a strong PSA 8. I could have got one of those for what, I don't know, $5,000. But no, I bought this for $300. And I'm probably happier than I would be than if I had bought a PSA 7 or an 8, or even a nice 5 or 6, because it's got great centering and great registration. So Jay-Z, I would go onto the PSA set registry, but for me, I would be a race to the bottom. I'd want to be, I'd look at the winners being the lower grades, but not if your cards were run over by a truck, but if they look like this kind of card. So that was my one vintage pickup, and I'm super happy. Go ahead, buddy.
It's funny because I'm very much like you, that registration is really important, and buy the card, not the grade, period. Like always, always, always. But when I first started chasing, in my 59 set was the first set I chased the registry. And it's funny because every deal I did, I was selling what I had for a higher grade, but the card I was selling was always nicer than the one I was buying. And it's funny because, like, if I kept all my PSA 8s, visually my set would be nicer than some of my PSA 10s, which is crazy, but that is what it is, right? So now I just learned a lesson with vintage. If I'm chasing the registry for something, just keep the keep the 7s and the 8s as well and have both, right? So there you have it.
Yeah, it depends what your goals are, I suppose. And I cannot get behind chasing the registry, the competition on it, but I understand it and I get it. And it's listen, if you enjoy it, that's great. But yeah, I'd rather just buy a nice card and not worry about the grade on the slab. I say that enough. I say that all the time. But it's funny you make that point. I did a deal with a guy at the Calgary show. He wanted my PSA 5 Gretzky Opeachy, and he had a PSA 4, and he wanted to upgrade to my 5. I go, bro. Literally, I said to the guy, "Your card's probably nicer than mine, and it's a lower grade. Are you sure you want to do this?" He's like, "I don't know." He walks away, he comes back, he goes, "Yeah, I think I'm just gonna hold out for a 7." He calls me, like, took my card, calls me a couple days later. "Hey, do you still want to do that deal?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, and I'm gonna throw in some cash. I go, "Yeah, yeah, because I know what I can get for mine, and what yours is a 4, so it's probably gonna, I know what those ranges are. You're gonna, unfortunately for you, I'm gonna get the better card and the money, and I'm gonna give you the worst card, but it's in a better piece of plastic."
Yeah.
I took that 4 to the expo just now, and MBA Mike Baker was there. I gave it to him. It got a gold sticker, which it's like, just validates what I already knew. I don't even need the validation, but now I got that extra little value touch on there. It probably is legit now worth more than the PSA 5 that I told and got money back for. But listen, if I told the guy, "Are you sure you want to do this? Your 4 is nicer, but some people just can't see past the number on the slab, and that's not my problem." I tried to make it my problem. I tried to tell him, but he still wanted to upgrade. I call it upgrading by downgrading. I got the better card, and I'm actually thinking about now making that my PC copy and selling my PSA 7.5. I actually like it better than my 7.5. I have another 4 that I love. I think this is even nicer than my existing 4. So I may just have a 4 in my collection as my PC copy and be very happy. I don't have a 9 like Daniel. I don't have an 8 like I used to, but I'll be very happy with it. Anyway. That's the story on that. Now, I get home from the expo, guys, and I find I want to buy more cards. I'm just looking on marketplaces. I'm looking on Instagram. I've actually bought 2 cards privately on Instagram in the last 48 hours. I just feel like I don't want Expo to end. I want to, like, you know what I mean? And then the kind of cards that I bought at the show were modern, like this kind of stuff, the thick auto patchy kind of stuff. That's what I picked up, and I just found myself wanting more of it. Jay-Z, are you still feeling the rush of the show and like wanting to continue to immerse yourself in the hobby?
We had the boys chat today because we have Langley show this weekend in Vancouver, so we got a 3-day show, and I'm like, okay, who's going? And one of the expo crew just got back to town like an hour ago, and he's like, "Okay, we going on the weekend?" And I'm like, "There we go." Yeah. What
about you? How about you, Sam? How are you feeling? Are you missing the feeling of adding a card, like doing a deal and buying a card like you got to do at the expo?
Oh, I love, that's my favorite part. Doing a deal on a card, I'm naturally in sales, so I love to see the way people's minds work and how you can get a deal together. So it's definitely very interesting to see the way people operate, and it's the best part, because when you get the card you really want and you're able to acquire it, there's nothing better. Yeah. That's the reason why you're there.
Absolutely. So Daniel, we know you're doing some deal. You're still working on some, deals that were born at Expo. How about you, Josh? Is the Chicago Spectacular show coming up right away now? When's that?
Next weekend. So a week from this coming Thursday. So I can't wait for that. That's always a great show. Not as hockey heavy, but always some deals to be done. And I love that show too, because it's like 20 minutes away. So I can't wait for that one either. Someone got an Eddie Belfour Emblems of Endorsement at the show that I didn't see at the booth. So I'm still looking for that card. If it ever pops up.
Oh yeah.
Who knows?
Card.
Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I picked up some absolute stunners at the show. I want to thank you, Josh. You brought me a few cards that I had brought back to me. So some cards that I had actually sent to Fund Your Cards to pay for the Joe Jackson, which I was able to get back because the Joe Jackson got paid off. Actually, Thursday night, the final item ended on MC Sports Cards, sold the final item for me and Fund Your Cards. And so I'm now squared up on that. And I even, like I said, you brought back 4 cards for me, Josh, which I'm very grateful for, that I had sent to Mark at Fund Your Cards. And now I got them back, and I can't tell you how happy I am to have these back. I feel like they're like the prodigal son sort of thing, where I just so happy to have them back, and I didn't have to give them up to get the Joe Jackson. That was great. I want to shout out a guy who is a longtime Hobby Insider member. His name is Matt. I think how you say it, Palagaro. You know who I'm talking about, Jay-Z. He came up to me on Saturday and he goes, "Hey, I got something for you." I'm like, "Okay, what?" He goes, "It's kind of morbid, but I go, Dale Howard-Chuck, someone who passed away from cancer a couple years ago." He goes, "Yeah," and he hands me this. He hands me the funeral program from Dale Howard-Chuck's funeral, and I've opened it up, I've taken it out, I've looked at it. Here's a picture, him and his family. You open up, there's a message from his wife. But you go to a funeral, you get one of these, and I didn't go to his funeral, but Matt gave me this, and I literally was fighting back tears at my booth. I think that was Saturday afternoon. So I just want to shout him out for being very thoughtful and putting something into my collection. It's not a card, but it's something that is, I don't know. I was like literally fighting back tears when he gave me this. It just hit me in the feels when he did that. So I want to just say thank you to him. What a thoughtful gesture. And that was pretty cool. So Sam, do you want to see my my Ed Belfour card?
Well, for anybody that was watching the first episode, this was the card that we had a great conversation about.
That's
and
right.
Guess who ended up with the card?
This guy.
I'm glad you're happy about it. I'm glad you're happy.
I'm very well. I'm happy about it. But so on Sunday, I was like, I got to go do some shopping. There were some cards out there. I wanted to add a few to because I hadn't picked up a lot yet during the day. And I went by the Imperial Sports Card booth, which is Kenny Durr and Jamie, who's always set up with him at shows. And where's the one card I'm trying to, I bought a pair of cards off of Kenny. Oh, here it is. And I bought these 2 cards off of Kenny at Imperial Sports Cards. The first one is an Alexander Ovechkin SP Authentic Limited Auto Patch out of 10. Now I have 2. I have 4. I have 3 now, but at the time I had 2 other cards from this set, and I thought, what a great addition. So I saw that in his booth, but he also had this Marc-Andre Fleury here. I'll just put the spotlight on so you guys can see these a bit better. He also had this Marc-Andre Fleury emblems of endorsement. So I saw the prices, made up in my mind the offer I wanted to make to Kenny, who I haven't made a lot of deals with over the 15 years we've been to the show together. Made him an offer, and he accepted my offer outright. No further negotiation. So I acquired these 2 cards from him. Well, at his booth was Jamie, who had the card that we talked about on the other episode that Sam and I did, talking about the from the Schwann, where we both tried to buy. Well, here it is. We both tried to buy this card off of Jamie at the show, and then I'm like, Sam will grab it. It's too much for me. But I was riding a high. I was having fun, and I just picked up the Marc-Andre Fleury Chicago emblems of endorsement. And so I said and Kenny, Jamie's price on this card, he had $1,500 on this card. It's a lot of money for an Ed Belfour card. I mean, I remember thinking when I saw it at Saskatchewan that this card, maybe it's a $700 card, maybe $800. And, me and Sam talked about it, and he really wanted it. And I kind of was like, you go ahead and grab it, Sam. But he didn't grab it. It's Sunday at the expo. And I'm at the booth, and I'm like, how much, Kenny? How much, Jamie? He goes, well, I'd like to get $1,500. I say, I'll offer you $1,300. He goes, I'll take $1,300 cash and $200 trade. I'm like, oh, okay. I got mostly these binders, which have been working out pretty well for me. Thought, okay, all right, deal. So now you know what I paid $1,300 cash and $200 trade for this card, and it's a beauty. It's an absolute beauty. And I know Sam loves the card too, and he's my booth mate. I said to him, let me hang on to it for a couple years, Sam, and then we'll figure something out. We can transfer ownership to you later on. But those were 3 of my non-vintage pickups. Sam, what do you think? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Josh, you any comments? Anyone? I don't want to. I can show more of my cards here, but I want to hear from you guys too. You're good?
That's a great card. I've been looking for an Eddie Belfour Cup card forever, and I missed that booth. So good job.
Well, I had a tribute RPA of his in the 07-08 year, like the Taves and Kane year, with a 3-color patch with black, red, and white. And I moved that card in my Joe Jackson consolidation, and kind of wanted to have a nice Eddie Belfour card too. So this one fits the bill. And I'll just whip through the other cards that I picked up, guys. I've shown you those ones. Picked up another nice Marc-Andre Fleury card from his time in Minnesota, from Upper Deck Ultimate, on card auto, 3-color patch. Got some nice green in there as well, which you can sort of see there. This is just a gorgeous card. Got that one from GP Sports Cards. I bought this one from him as well. Joe Thornton, who just got inducted into the Hall of Fame on Monday. Emblems endorsements out of 15. And then from GP as also, I picked up this 2014 Skybox Rubies out of 50, Sidney Crosby. So I got those off of GP. And then Chris Thompson had a ton of cards as usual. I picked up this for $10, a nice Shane Doan Artifacts dual patch out of 15. And what else did we get? The first card I bought all weekend, Jay-Z. Check this one out. Roberto Luongo Upper Deck Exquisite auto patch out of 25. Got that on day one from Chris Thompson. And this card alone could have made my show. But this is a SP Authentic limited auto patch, Mario Lemieux on card auto, game used patch, 3-color out of 25. I love the SP Authentic limited auto patches. And then I picked up, I grabbed this. A guy came to my table. He said, I hear you collect Dale Howard, Chuck. I said, yeah, he shows me this limited logos from 07-08. And I'm like, but I don't collect these legend jersey cards. But then I realized, wait, that's the puck. That's the puck coming in. And there's the energy bouncing off the puck right there. I'm like, actually, I don't have one of these anymore. Maybe I'll grab that. So I bought that off the guy, made a nice, quick, easy deal on that one. Also on the last day, I had walked by Wayne Fraser's booth. He is, the name of his, the Doug Laurie, John Laurie sports card store. He had this Theron Fleury honorable numbers out of 14. Which I thought, that's a nice card. It's out of 14, great auto, nice 3-color and 2-color patch. So I grabbed that off of him. And then I got these. I collect the cup base patch parallels. So I managed to pick up about 8 of them there. But Mitch brought me a couple that were shipped to him. I got this one, Daniel Elfordson from 07-08. I got that one from Mint Inc. Thank you to Johnny and Adam and the guys at Mint Inc. Mitch brought me this beautiful Rick Nash from 08-09. He also brought this one that I had shipped to him. Kelvin collects, found this in the room for me. Ron Francis from 10-11, number 10 of 10. So that was awesome. Nice 3-color patch. Needed that. I found this one in the room when I was interviewing Darcy Tucker on the main eBay stage there, and then I was just kind of nosing around afterwards and found this Ray Bork. This is 10-11, so got that one. And then I found this one. I'm trying to figure out who the guy was that I bought this from. I don't know his name, but I wanted to reach out and thank him. But Alex DeBrincat from the most recent year of the Cup, my first card from this year. So I got that one as well. But the story doesn't end there, guys. Just when you think that Expo's over, we pack up, we leave. Me and Sam, we go to Chop for dinner, second night in a row. And I'm thinking about a couple cards that Sam had at our booth all weekend long. And there's one in particular, and I'm like, I had my eye on it. I'm like, I missed a chance to buy it a couple years earlier. I'm like, I don't have, didn't have cash on me. He didn't, the cards were in the car, whatever. So we finished dinner. We go back to the hotel room. I'm looking through his cards, and it's kind of funny, Sam, hey, how 4 days we're together the whole time, and I end up picking up 2 cards off of you after the show ends, a hotel room deal. My very first Nikita Kucherov card, who is one of the best players in the NHL. Again, a limited auto, an SB Authentic limited auto materials. This is on-card auto game used. This one's out of 50, but goes great with the Ovechkin that I bought. And then one of my favorites of the weekend, Matt Sundin and Pavel Datsyuk, dual honorable numbers out of 13. Beauties.
Yeah, sick card.
Yep.
Hotel room deals, guys. Post-Expo hotel room deals.
It's like we didn't have enough time together. We had to do a deal after the restaurant in his hotel room.
Right?
But that's the way it goes. You just keep it, keep it keep it alive a little bit longer.
That's the way she goes. Yeah, pretty funny how that goes. But that's what happens, You and plus when you're set up at a show, your willingness to part with your money can go with how you're doing at the booth, right? If you're doing a bunch of deals and the money's coming in, it's easy. I was like, okay, I just did 25 deals in the last 4 hours. I want to go spend some of this money now. And that's what took me to Kenny Durr's booth. And that's what took me to buying the cards from Sam at the end of the show. And just kind of goes that way. But I'm pretty happy with my pickups overall. It was a successful show for me from a sales perspective, a buying perspective, but nothing really compares to this crew right here. Mitch as well, and everyone else that came by. But you guys spent the most time at the booth, in behind, hanging out, resting and chilling, and just hanging. Like, it's so great, guys. I love all of you. Like, it's just amazing. So thank you all for spending the time with me and Sam at our booth. It was great. And Mitch too, even though he's on an airplane going to some honeymoon or something. The guy's got his priorities all mixed up. Like, it's Expo week, dude. You don't book travel the week after Expo either. What's this guy thinking? What's he thinking? So, any thoughts? Who's got anything going on in their mind they want to say? Who's got anything to share at this point? And if not, I'm going to go to some comments. But I did take notes, guys, and I'm looking at them. I think we've covered everything really that I had. Ken Reed was there doing a book signing on Saturday, walking around. I didn't get to go get his book and get it autographed like I would have done. I just forgot by the time it was done. I'm like, dude, I missed your book signing. Look, I'll get one from you next time. Did anyone manage to go do that or go do any autographs? Anyone stand in the autograph lines at all? No, nothing, huh? So if you had to pick a highlight, can we ask for highlights of the weekend aside from hanging out with the boys? Was there a highlight, even if it's just one of the cards you already showed? I know we had some low lights, that's for sure. But any highlights, Jay-Z? You're thinking hard there. Is something coming to mind?
No, I think, like, for me, I'm still beside myself that I own a piece of Babe Ruth's jersey. Game used. That's amazing. I never thought I would ever be able to say something like that. Definitely a highlight for me. I saw a lot of amazing pieces, just like we all did. That's the one thing about Expo, right? It's just like cardboard overload. You see so much cool stuff. Like, I saw an 0506 Ultimate signature set, the horizontal, and it was a Gordie Howe. And it's a beautiful signature, says Mr. Hockey on it in a PSA 1010 holder, right? Mm-hmm. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, what an amazing card. Yeah, I immediately went to it, and I was just about to ask the guy the price, and he's like, I'm going to stop you. It's not for sale.
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, that's cool. So it's like you said, aside from the stuff at the booth, which for me is always the best part of Expo. It's 90% the boys and 10% the cars. It always has been for me. It always will be. But yeah, from the card side, it was cool. A lot of nice stuff.
Absolutely. You meant, like, I didn't see a bunch of instances where there were cards that were not for sale. Of course there are, and there were some. vaguely remember one experience where, you know, it's like, hey, how much is that? How much? Not for sale, not for sale. Ah, darn, damn, you know, like you're teasing me. And I've done that before myself in the past. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not, even at the last expo, Sam remembers I had a bunch of like PC stuff out because I had nothing else to bring. And I just like, I took them out at the end of third. I'm like, I'm not putting these out. I don't want to sit here and tell people no all day long, all weekend long. I took them out just to not deal with that. They weren't really for sale anyway. Like you would have to make a stupid price. And I don't want to be the guy who says you got to make a stupid price. You know, you got to pay you got to make a stupid offer to get a deal done. I just rather not make it seem like it's available at all. So there are some instances where that's okay to do in my mind, or where I might do it. But I didn't find a lot of not for sale display cases at the show. Anyone have any experiences like that where you were disappointed you couldn't buy a card, or nothing like that really happened? No. Anyone else have a highlight or a low light you want to share, Daniel?
Yeah, I got a couple. The one would be, it was a guy I know. He picked up an oh my gosh, KSA 9.5 Gretzky. He bought it. I think he paid like 10 grand for it. Cracked it open. Gave it to PSA and he got an 8.5.
Good. That's
he
really
sold
good.
it instant. He sold it instantaneously for 55 grand.
Jesus.
Wow.
I'm happy when good things happen to good people, right? He's a good guy and he took a chance, right? He took a chance, and it paid off, and I was so happy for him. What else? Another one. Yeah. And I saw I don't know if you saw it, but you were talking about cards that weren't for sale. But I saw the Bobby Orr PSA 8 that had the gold label, the one that sold, I think, for 91 US or something like that. It was a guy from Edmonton. His name eludes me. I can't remember what his name was, but he had it there. The card was beautiful.
Was it on display?
Yeah.
It's for sale.
Oh, he's trying to sell it?
Yeah, it was at Wayne's booth next to Wes from from Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Yeah, and he had a $150,000 sticker on it.
Oh, okay.
I saw that.
He was trying to buy my Lemieux 10 off me. I'm like, it's not for sale. Like, he was just following me around. He wanted the card, but I go, right now it's not for sale.
Yeah.
But that was a beauty.
Right next to that card, there was the absolute most beautiful Vezina rookie copy I have ever seen. It was a PSA 6, but like, wow.
He had nice stuff. He had really, really nice stuff.
Yeah, there was no shortage of great cards at the show. How about you, Sam? We went through a bit of the low light, but what about the highlight? What was the highlight? What was the highlight for you? I mean, there were it was like a nonstop highlights at our booth. I feel like it was nonstop highlights, really.
I think I touched on it. I think it's just about the people and, you know, the friends you create through the hobby. The cards are great, but I think it's more, for me, it's more personal and about the friends that you make, right? It's nice to be able to hang out, go for dinners. It flies by. It feels way too short. I think it should be, you know, it should be like the National. It should be 5 days. But if they're bringing an extra event to Toronto, then that makes sense. But yeah, the more the merrier. Toronto's a special place. The Expo's a great show. I mean, if you're into all sports, I think it hits all sports pretty fairly. I mean, I think it's hockey heavy, but yeah, it's just good to see all the people, and we have a good hockey community that we're a bunch of collectors that trust each other, and you know, we kind of bounce ideas off each other, values, and it seems to be getting bigger and bigger every year. So it's special. You know, it's nice to have a community that you can call your friends once the Expo's done, per se.
Absolutely. So, I had a guy tell me at the show, and this was like an older man. He was there with his son. His son was like our age, and he said he comes to these shows with his son. It's something that he does with his grown son as a, you know, opportunity to spend time together. He's not a collector, but he comes. And he said to me, because we were just, you know, small talking as his son was looking through the binders. He goes to me, this show, it's the best it's ever been. He said it just seems and feels and it looks like it's more professional than ever. It's busier than ever. He said he was just speaking to the professional atmosphere, the environment that was created by this show. And it really has become more than just a card show. It truly is an event. It truly is a hobby event. It's a card show, but it's still a card show. It's like Fanatics Fest is a card show within a monstrous sporting event. The expo is still a card show, but it's got a lot of the corporate stuff, which some people maybe don't like, but it's integral to the show. And it's really the guys who run this show, Steve, Mikey, and teams, have just elevated this thing to the point where it needs to go to 5 days. I think that's where I'm going with this. It could go to 5 days. That's where this thing's at. I'm gonna start pushing off for that. Yeah, Daniel.
Do you think they may need a bigger venue down the road?
They will. They're gonna add another hall. It's already done. They're at 200,000 square feet right now. It's already, from what Mikey told me, I don't think it's a secret. He said, they're taking another hall next time. So it's growing. They have a 250 person wait list for booths. They're going to be able to satisfy some of those booths. They're going to have to knock a chunk off that wait list. So it's growing. Yes, Daniel. Yeah.
That's
can you
amazing.
imagine? I mean, the International Center is huge. It's like 5 conference centers in one. I think we had 3 of them at this show. Eventually, they could go to all 5. Sorry, Jay-Z, you were going to jump in.
Yeah, it's amazing to hear that it's growing. That they're going to add another building and 250 wait list. Wow, that's strong.
Yeah, it's such a good show. Josh, any highlights that you want to mention? And I want to go to some comments and we'll wrap up, guys.
I mean, nothing that stood out, but like everyone else said, the best part's seeing people, other collectors that you talk to all year and get to hang out with for this weekend. And yeah, it goes by lightning fast, man, especially when only can go Friday till Sunday. But no, nothing like, pinpoint stuck out. Just the whole weekend was great.
Absolutely. For me, a couple highlights were really people going through these binders and adding cards to their collection that they wouldn't think they were going. They didn't think they were going. Like Amanda comes to the booth and she goes, Jeremy, any Pierre-Luc, what's his name? Pierre-Luc Dubois cards. I'm like, no, I don't know. She goes, any Jason Allison? I'm like, yeah, tons. She's like, yeah, right. I go, no, seriously, tons. She's like, come on. I go, Amanda, look at all these binders. It's from that era. You're going to want to grab a chair and start going through. Hour later, she picks out, I don't know how many cards, 25, 35, 40 cards of her collection. Passed me a little chunk of money. And, that was awesome. It was awesome. I mean, Amanda's someone I've known for, since the old Mint Collective days, I feel like, Josh. And, she's a lovely person in the hobby. Great. So happy I could move those cards and fill those spots in her collection. But there's one that really stuck with me. You'll know this one, Sam, because the guy was the Steve Eiserman collector. He was up from California. And he saw a couple. He was picking from both of our showcases. Remember, he's like, I want to see that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. It's like 2 from my showcase and 2 from your showcase or whatever. And after he did deals with both of us on the showcase cards, he starts looking at my binders. Well, now he's got his wife out with the want lists. And anyway, he picked out probably, again, 30, 40 cards. And at one point he says to me, he goes, this makes my whole trip worthwhile. This deal makes the whole trip up from California worthwhile. And I was like, that's a feather in my cap sort of thing, as far as like, I don't know. I just take a ton of pride in that, because we talk about, the hobby, all the talking heads can be very difficult and hard on like flippers, but we all do some flipping. Like this binder collection was a collection that I acquired to flip. Call me a flipper, I don't care. But flip, like in that series of events, this guy from California, his whole trip is worthwhile because I brought these cards from Calgary to Toronto and had them out and available. And like that, I don't know, just gave me such a feeling of like, I don't know, the gratitude, and just felt so good about that. And I know I'm not alone. I know there's these experiences were happening throughout the room, probably every day. And, but you also got to find the cards, you got to find the card. If Amanda didn't jokingly ask me if I had any Jason Allison, because she was literally joking, literally thought there's no way Jeremy has any Jason Allison cards. And, here we are an hour later and she's, crossed off 40 or whatever lines on her want list. Daniel.
I went to school with Jason Allison. He was a year older than me. So I remember when he was playing with the Generals, I think it was Oshawa. I can't remember who he played for. And it was him and another guy. They played in the OHL. Making the baseball team. It was just about to make the last cut. Who shows up back to school? Jason Allison. Cut.
So you can get Amanda. Next time you call up your old buddy Jason, let him know Amanda's coming to town and we can make something happen there.
No, I wasn't buddies with the guy. No,
I'm just kidding.
But yeah.
But there was that. I mean, I had probably a dozen experiences like that where I just happened to have cards that people never have. And I mean, like I said, you do 120 deals in 4 days. That's a lot of action. And it's a lot of collectors. It's a lot of cards got moved. So, and it was nice, as Sam said at the beginning of the show, we were set up right beside Com C, and something happened where one of their backgrounds, like their background banners, didn't show up. So they had nothing there, but there was the black curtain separating our booth from them, and we actually opened it up, and it was like we had it kind of made a world of difference. Hey, Sam, that we had that black curtain wasn't there. We could see out onto Broadway, which was what I called the main stretch, which is what they were on an end cap, what they were facing. And we just had such a great experience in that location. Again, Victor and Roddy, the mayor, Steve, Frankie across from us, the Steve Angel crew, Randy and his daughter Chelsea beside us, and Mark Lee beside them, and Dale and Angie on the other side. And just a great spot overall. So the whole thing was a highlight for me. Yeah,
it was good location for sure.
Absolutely. Dog Food Soup says it's a great social event. He's talking about the Arizona's event. I hadn't been to a show in 10 years. I was surprised how many people I knew, which is good to see. Welcome back to the hobby. To Chris, Dog Food Soup. Rich Barone. Oh, wait, we did all these ones already. Hold on. We're going to run through these comments, guys. Then we'll wrap this up. Where did I leave off? Oh, here we are. Okay. Rob Starr, vintage baseball selection at the show seems to be increasing with each passing year. He said there was only one Red Ruth at the show. Sold on Thursday was an SGC2. Dan's Vintage says tough to find that 57 Hank Aaron centered almost any card from 57 Tops is tough to find centered. That's a rough year. He goes on to say, someone told me there wasn't enough vintage baseball to justify me coming to the expo. Was I misled? I mean, Dan, I think you're looking for really obscure vintage baseball. If you're still here with us, you might not have been misled, but that said, you might find some treasures. There are obscure cards at this show. Josh or Jay-Z, can either of you say anything to Dan about the baseball that's there? Either of you? Go ahead, Josh.
Oh, okay. I mean, there's some baseball there. I mean, there's some, but mostly like it's not oddball stuff, but there's baseball. Like, Jay-Z found that pretty cool Aaron. But yeah, I mean, there's some there, but I mean,
it's not like the National.
Not at all. Not at all.
No, it's there. Yeah, definitely baseball was there, but like no oddball stuff, just stars for sure.
Yeah, and even 57 Tops is not a rare card. It's a mainstream card, but you just found a really great copy. So yeah. Dunkachino is good. Good to see you at the show. David G says, did Sam offer the customer to exchange the card for other cards or similar value? I think that would have been a fair compromise. Did that cross your mind, Sam?
Oh yeah, I did. I tried every avenue. I said, like, you could pick another card, put multiple cards together, but I don't know what his issue was, but that wasn't good for him either. So
Dave Marone thanking me for the binder deals, the ores, and a terrific Gretzky rookie card. It was a PSA 4. This was a card I took in on trade, actually, earlier on in the day, and Dave Marone picked that up. Yeah, thank you for the deals, Dave Marone. David G says 53 Rocket is the nicest vintage hockey card, like the 53 Bowman Reese being the nicest vintage baseball card. Absolutely, David G. Chris Flay, why is the 53 Parker set so out of focus? I mean, this is how they printed cards back in the day. Marone says old PSA did not factor in registration. Poor registration is worse than 3 rounded corners. Absolutely, in my opinion. Dog Food Soup says, while at the expo, I could tell that I watch a lot of sports cards live as I was looking at Gretzky rookies and looking at the centering, the coloring, the overall eye appeal, and not the grade. Attaboy. Attaboy. Dave Marone says, Mike Baker is a tremendous value for our hobby. Tom Cat Sports Cards. What's going on? Matthew from Upper Deck says, good evening, gents. Had a blast at my first expo. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves too. We did. It was great to see you and the Upper Deck team. Absolutely. Thank you guys. Comments on the patches I picked up. Love that. Ooh, Lapper loves the Sundin Datsuk. Me too, Lapper. Me too. Matthew wants to know, Sam, any update on that card that came by your table when I was there on Sunday? I don't know. Do you know what he's talking about?
I don't. I was looking at that message and I was trying to remember. I was wondering what he thought. Unless, I don't know. Was it maybe the Sundin 101? I could think maybe it was that one he was talking about.
I'm not sure. I'm not that one. The Grant ended up buying.
Yeah,
maybe. Oh, maybe it was that half shield card even.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Is Tomcat Sports Cards? Is that the guy from Upper Deck?
Yeah, the Marc-Andre Fleury collector.
Yeah. So yes, that's probably the card he was talking about.
Okay, right on. Dave Marone says, end of the show led me to Jeremy. Yeah, you came and did some damage at my booth for sure. Dave, what's up? Defend Pro Can. That's Chris. He owns a Dolly's franchise or a Dolly's store in Ontario. And Chris and his brother Attila hung out with those guys at the comedy show after we went. Sam and I dropped by the Gong Show's Rip Party at Mint Inc. on Friday night. And then after I went to the comedy show, starring Jason Wabshall from Player's Choice, who's been a vendor at the show for many years, not this year, but anyway, Chris, great guy. Defend Pro is his actually he has a sleeves company, and they're my favorite sleeves. Defend Pro. These are high quality, great stuff. Always good to see you, buddy. Always good to see him. Definitely. He says, great expo as always, bought strong with so many unique pieces. That's awesome. Colin for Hockey Card Exchange says, huge buying show for us, more than the last bunch of expos. Good to hear. Congratulations. Matthew says, my highlight was connecting with people I've known for years on Instagram, but never met in person, and seeing how many people were smiling due to our products and cards. Simply amazing. By the way, Matt Burrows, this is Tomcat. He's only been at Upper Deck for like 14 months or so. He had an episode of he came on Sports Cards Live a few weeks ago, a couple months ago now maybe, and talked about his first year there. You guys can check that out. He's a great guy, great collector. Mookie Chilson, that guy's time, just like yours and mine, is the one true precious resource we have on this earth, and your table made his expenditure pay off. I love that story, Jeremy. I think you're talking about the Detroit guy, the Eiserman guy. Thank you, Mookie. Always good to see you in the chat. Rob Starr says, always extra special when you know the cards are going into a great collection. That's the word, gratifying. Thank you, Rob. Yes, so gratifying. Absolutely, to get cards into great collections. David G says Expo needs to add more entrances, not just another hall. The only issue I'll say with that is more entrances means more staff, more opportunity for people to sneak in, more security. You want more entrances, maybe expect the admission to go up. Like these are the things you gotta think about. I'm not saying that I don't run it, I have no idea, but what seems like an easy solution to us is not always easy logistical. So, but hey, it's great feedback. Guys from Expo will be watching or listening to this, so they have heard that for sure. Colin says, I had tons of vintage baseball, full set of 57 top. Yeah, we were already talking about that, Colin. We already talked about that, but yes. Yeah, Colin's always got a great booth. He doesn't have a booth. He basically has a store and a big store set up. Yeah, Jay-Z knows you know, right? They always have such a big layout there. Matt says, yes, the Cup 1 of 1. And David G picked up a set. You picked up that set of Maple Crispet. Wow, baseball, amazing. See, that's something that Dan might have wanted to see as well. So, all right, we got to the end of the comments, guys. We're an hour 40, Sam. BoothMates is supposed to be an hour long, but post-Expo, 5 guys on the screen. What are we going to do, right? So
we make exceptions for these special gentlemen here.
These guys, look at these beauties on the screen, Sam. Look at these guys. Like, what do you think of these guys?
We spent a lot of time together this weekend. It was nice, you know. It was nice to be able just to catch up, and hopefully it won't be in 6 months' time. Hopefully it'll be a lot sooner.
Yeah. Hey, Joshua Antonucci, was it your dad that I was just talking about who who told me how great this show was? Was that you? Because said my dad has been coming with me to the expo for 6 years, said this was the more professionally set up, although he does not buy. Yeah, just watching me was that you? Like, I'm just curious, Joshua, because I had that experience with someone and his dad. Yes, it was you. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I told the guys from Expo that too. I was talking to Mikey on the phone the other day. I told him too. So that was just great feedback. And yeah, your dad made some great comments. So that's cool that we put that together here on the live stream. So anyone have any final thoughts, guys? I mean, I've been, as I usually do, talking a lot. Anyone else have anything they want to share? Final thoughts, plans for next year, plans to come. Jay-Z, you're going to start coming more often, more regularly, or what?
I always mark it on the list. You know, just having a little one has been a challenge, but I'm sure I can definitely be more frequent now going forward. Yeah.
It's hard when you have a newborn. It was really tough for me to get out as well. So I know what you're feeling right now. It's they're so small, the little guys. You know what I mean? But
I mean, guys, I live as far away as Jay-Z does. I have 2 little. I didn't listen. I know everyone's situation is different, so I'm not. I'm just kidding, but yeah, it is tough. It is tough with little ones, but it all depends on the in-law situation, the uncles and aunts. Like, if you know, it depends what kind of extra support you have outside of your wife. And the other thing is, you don't want to just leave your wife. You know, that's why I don't go to as many shows as I'd like to. It's why I'm not going to Dale and Angie's show, which I would love to go to. I'd love to come to Chicago Spectacular. I'd love to go to the Montreal Expo every time, but you know, it's tough on the family. So yeah, we don't make it out to all of them. Yeah. Daniel, you're coming every time, right?
Yeah. I know.
Josh,
I won't miss it. Yeah.
How about you now, Josh?
I had been to the last 4, so I go every time. I love it.
You're done. You're now going to be there. You've got your membership. You're coming.
I'm in. Yeah.
We got to find a way. I don't know if it's going to be tough, but it'll be great to go from 1 booth to 2 booths. And I was thinking about this, Sam, because I was looking at the booth across from us, Victor and Roddy's booth, where the mayor and Frankie were set up. Steve came one day, Big Steve, and then you got the Q crew, the Quincy, and then his crew over there. But I'll tell you what, our booth was tighter. It felt warmer to me. It felt like, you know, when there were 5 of us in there, like we couldn't help but talk to each other and be like, you know what I mean? Like it brought us closer together. Whereas if we had 2 booths and we were spread out more, I don't know if it would be the same vibe. It'd be nice to have more room, but then I'd almost want to have like 8 people there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, well, Chris, it was half the size of Q's. He had 2 booths. We only had 1, and we had, you know, as many, if not more people hanging out. So it was squishy, but I think that it was like when you open a nightclub, you know, you have these areas where people are rubbing up against each other to walk by. That's deliberate. You know, there's a reason for that. It makes people interact more. I feel like even though our booth was small, I felt like we had a ton of interaction the whole time. What do you think of that, Sam? Because I mean, we've been doing it for so long now.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is if we had something bigger, there would just be more people.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it, right? It's just, but it is very, very small and quaint. We had a little area and with our buggy and our chairs and bags everywhere and people coming and going. But I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way, really.
And the ComC guys were flowing in and out too. Yeah. I mean, they were flipping through my binders constantly, and looking in the showcases, and we're bouncing. We're asking them advice on things. You know, like those guys know cards too. So it was good to have them super close. But it just felt like a big family in the booth, and even in the row, Quincy's booth, Vic and Roddy in the mayor's booth. Like it was just great to be around all these people, having dog food soup there again after so long. Like it was just great. All the people that I've known, and Jay-Z from the old Hobby Insider days, like people coming through, like Ben Mixer comes all the way from the UK, you know, Matt Palagaru comes and gives me the Dale Howarchuk thing. Richard, Cardboard Richard, Richie Rocket. Well, Cardboard Richard from Vancouver was there too, but like all the guys from the old message board days. It was so on the one hand, I'd like to have a second booth, guys, but on the other hand, I don't know. It was such a good setup, and I'd want it to be the one beside us, but I don't think we're going to get that one. That guy, I said to that guy, I want your booth. He goes, I want your booth. So
yeah, good luck.
Well, but I have heard, I think that configuration might change. So who knows what happens next in May at this big expo again. And who knows, maybe there's a third Toronto show now. Someone mentioned in the chat earlier. I think Marone mentioned it in the chat earlier. So we'll see. All right, guys, we can keep going. You guys, who wants to go for another hour? Put your hand up if you want to go for another hour. Just
for us, it's late.
Yeah, I know.
For you guys, it's earlier.
Well, Jay-Z's just about to have lunch out on the All right, guys. Well, listen, anyone else, if we're good, we'll wrap it up. So, you know, again, thank you to you guys. This is me and Sam call this BoothMates. This is where we're doing this together, and we're the BoothMates. And but I feel like you guys were BoothMates too, and you're welcome. Like, you know, you guys are welcome at the booth. You've known that always. You've known that since you come. This isn't the first time, and so we'll do this again before the next show, and after the next show, and then before the one after that, and after that one too, and maybe somewhere in between. So thank you, Jay-Z. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Josh, for joining us here on really short. I think we decided to do this yesterday. So thanks for coming on. I'm going to be back on Saturday for Sports Cards Live, where we will be talking about shill bidding. We're not talking about shill bidding here on this show. And by the way, how nice was it to be distracted away from all social media and not even think about all the hobby drama for 5 days? Although I am thinking about it again now. I thought about it. I hopped on the Professor Sports Cards live stream last night for about 5-10 minutes and said a few things about shill bidding, and we're going to talk about that, Josh, on Saturday. I'm sure it'll be part of the program, but not tonight. This is still Expo. This is the good stuff. We'll come back with the drama on Saturday. But thank you guys for joining us.
Yes, thanks.
Sam,
thanks guys. We appreciate it.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Chat, thank you guys for joining us. 91 strong across all platforms right now. So 93 actually. So thank you. And I also, if you were watching on Instagram, we have a couple of people on Instagram right now. StreamYard just updated the layout for Instagram, so it's a lot better than it used to be, which is awesome. Thank you, Chris. Great to see you. It was just great seeing you, Chris. I mean, it was great seeing everybody, but it was good to see you, Chris. Absolutely. He said here on Saturday, I left the booth because 5 people back there felt cramped. He's not talking about our booth. Or no, you're not talking about our booth. You're talking about Quincy's booth, I think. But there was a lot of room back there. That's for sure. Anyway, all right, guys. Can't wait to see all of you again in person. Who's going to the National next summer?
When is it?
Same time as always. End of July, beginning of August. It's like July 30th, August 4th, something like that.
Last week of July.
I could probably twist my arm to go to my first national.
Do it.
Let's get you out there.
Come, Jay-Z. Let's do it, baby.
Daniel, we got to get you out to one eventually.
I would love to go. That's usually when I'm in Italy or Portugal during that time.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah,
You're going to change it this year. You know what I mean?
Too bad. Thank you, Rob. It was great seeing you at the booth. Rob hung out at the booth too for a little bit, especially on Sunday. All right, guys. You guys hang tight here in the studio. We're going to run a little outro, but we'll be back after. And everyone in the chat, thank you for sitting through this and just enjoying the expo with us. If you weren't there, but you can tell how awesome it is, try and come. You're all welcome. You're all invited. Come to the expo. Come to the Thursday night networking event. A great way to kick things off. Come visit me and Sam at the booth. Great location. Hang out. Sit with us. Hang out. Like like we want to hang out. We're there to hang out, guys. With that, Sam, this episode of BoothMates, episode 3, is now over. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in and being a part of the Sports Cards Live community. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and most of all, keep collecting. More great content to come. Sports Cards is a lifestyle.